Can I go check a pulse?
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
I don't
listen,
care.
we understand. We got EMS coming. I get it. Just give us a second.
We have medics on scene. We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they? How can I relax? You just killed my neighbor. You caught butter in the face. You killed my neighbor. How do you show up to work every day? How the do you do this every day? You're killing my neighbors. You're stealing my neighbors. What the man?
Can I go check a pulse?
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
I don't
listen,
care.
we understand. We got EMS coming. I get it. Just give us a second.
We have medics on scene. We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they? How can I relax? You just killed my neighbor.
This is true third world dictator stuff. This is getting really scary. All the things that most of us who voted against Trump knew were going to happen or thought would happen are happening. And they're happening faster than we ever thought they would. And they're happening harder than we ever thought they would. I mean, I don't know how to get across to people that cruelty is the theme of this regime. Cruelty is the main theme. They wouldn't let a doctor see the lady they just shot. What kind of cruel animals would treat someone that way? What kind of cruel animals have we raised in this country who get offered jobs like this and they're looking for people just like that and then do these things? How are they even raised in the same country, these men? Boys, they're not men. They're not men at all. They're wusses. They're scared, cowardly wusses. That's what they really are. But to think that anyone can see this and think, oh, she was a terrorist. This is crazy stuff. This is like gaslighting to the max. That's kind of an old expression, right? To the max. That betrays my age, which is very old. But yeah, this is big time gaslighting. Oh, big time. That's a big Southern expression, right? Ah, that betrays the land of my birth. Okay. I don't know. I got to kid around a little bit. It's just too much to take. I mean, it's such bad stuff. It's so serious. Anyway, we've reached the tipping point. I'll tell you that. We've reached the tipping point. That, we used to say we're going to reach the tipping point if we don't do something about it, but we've reached it. We have law enforcement officers who shoot a woman, and the first person on the scene is a doctor, and medics haven't come yet. And the doctor says, let me see the woman. They're like, no, step back. We've got it under control. We have our own medics here. And where were their own medics? There were no medics anywhere in sight, as the eyewitness who yelled, there's no medics, where are they, in the video attest. Anyway, it's getting, I'm going to share some stuff with you today, and it's going to be really scary stuff. There's a tool that ICE has purchased. It's been around for a while, and different government agencies have bought this, but ICE has bought it. It was reported in September, a few months ago, that ICE bought this tool to monitor phones in entire neighborhoods. Now, imagine this. You're out protesting whatever happens, and it happens in the neighborhood, and a crowd forms like the one in the picture here, and next thing you know, they're rounding people up, and they already know what's on your phone. They go straight to you, and they say, hey, Sally, come with me. And you're like, what? How did you know my name? Oh, we just read everything on your phone. We know everything about you. That's what this has come to. And Trump supporters who said they didn't want a totalitarian regime in this country, and we were practically yelling at them, that's what you're going to get. No, you're deranged. You have Trump derangement syndrome. Look at these pictures, look at these videos, and tell me we're deranged. I will tell you who's deranged. The deranged people are the ones who look at this and say, those protesters, they're breaking the law. Oh, she got killed. She deserved it. That's deranged. So people have literally said she deserved it. That's deranged. The people in the administration, I don't know if they're saying so in those exact words, but they're saying she deserved it. They're calling her all kinds of things, a terrorist, in the way the government. And I will tell you something. I I've come to realize something watching all this stuff and watching this government for the last few months. I will tell you this: when they see protesters, and when we heard them call this lady a terrorist, they literally believe she's a terrorist. When they see groups in the street, just like any dictator feels so threatened by that these people are a terrorist to them. These are putting terror in their hearts, in the government leaders, in the people Trump has appointed to lead this administration. They see this and they feel personally threatened. Their positions are threatened because they're like, oh, if this spreads, then we're going to be taken out of power. We'll lose our power. We have to clamp down on it. These people are terrorists. But in a movie, in a story, a man he owns a big house and he's rich and he owns cars and he has a really lavish lifestyle. And then maybe somebody who works for him, comes up and says and tries to blackmail him, and says, "Hey, if you don't give me $1 million, I'm going to release these pictures to the press and you'll be ruined." Well, was that guy actually a terrorist? I mean, in that case, kind of, but he's not sitting there with a machine gun threatening to shoot the guy, right? But he is terrorizing in a way because he's threatening to ruin the guy's life if he doesn't do what he wants. That's how Kristi Noem, that's how all these people, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, it starts with Trump at the top. It literally starts with him and flows down. But that's how they view these people in the street, as terrorists. And they're going to go after them with everything they got. And one thing they got now is this new tool to monitor phones. And watch what this is going to expose. This is really scary stuff, because we're no longer in the place where we can say we're headed in that direction. We reached the destination. We are already there. Okay. This is from 404 Media. It says a social media and phone surveillance system ICE bought access to is designed to monitor a city neighborhood or block for mobile phones, track the movements of those devices and their owners over time. And over time means including in the past. It picks up their past information as well, and follow them from their places of work to home or to other locations. Okay, sounds scary enough. It gets worse. They can triangulate all kinds of things. This will literally make it impossible for people to communicate with each other and to organize things like protests, which are constitutionally legal. A protest is not in violation of the Constitution, and it's not in violation of the law. This thing that happened the other day, that was in Minneapolis, that was not, those people were doing nothing illegal, including the woman who got killed. She did nothing illegal. All right. All right. Continuing on, commercial location data in this case acquired from hundreds of millions of phones. That's everybody. There's 300 million people in America. So hundreds of millions is just about everybody. All right, so this comes from hundreds of millions of phones via a company called PinLink, and we're going to look at some of their stuff in a minute, can be queried without a warrant, according to internal ICE legal analysis shared with 404 Media. Okay. This is a very dangerous tool in the hands of an out-of-control agency. This granular location information paints a detailed picture of who we are, where we go, and who we spend time with, said Nathan Freed Wessler, who's with the ACLU. This week, the Department of Homeland Security started deploying as many as 2,000 officers to Minneapolis, including ICE's deportation arm. Now imagine them. Let's go look at this picture. Imagine you have a protest like this in a neighborhood, and ICE agents all suddenly know who every single person with a phone is. And, of course, every single person has a phone. Not only do they know who they are, they can triangulate using AI to go through all the data, like instantly, and find out, okay, this guy in blue, is there anyone in the crowd he's been with before this protest began? And maybe it'll say, oh yeah, this lady back here was with him 2 hours before it began. Okay, where were they? Takes them to wherever they were. I mean, this is going to be uh, totalitarianism like you've never known it. Like you've never known it. This outdoes anything in the Soviet state. It outdoes the Stasi in Germany. It outdoes even what China's doing. In September, it was reported that ICE planned to purchase this technology consisting of two Penley products called Tangles and Weblock. And we're going to take a little closer look at Weblock in a minute. Deputy Director of the Center for Democracy and Technology, Security and Surveillance Project told 404 Media it's dangerous for ICE or any government agency to be vacuuming up this type of sensitive data in bulk and absent consents or checks, legal checks. There's no oversight for this. This type of surveillance dragnet will enable draconian policing and abuse. You can believe that. Okay, that's that for this. Now look at this. Talk about the tipping point. Let's look at today's Drudge Report. Just at the top, FBI shuts down Minnesota's investigation into fatal ICE shooting. Okay, we killed a lady, and we're shutting down the state's investigation. Of course, the state of Minnesota wants to investigate because we know the feds aren't going to do it honestly under Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. That's not going to be honest. So, to show how dishonest they are, they refuse to share information and to work with the state of Minnesota, although it happened on state soil, Minnesota state soil. But they say no. Nome threatens to send more. Oh, okay, let's just make it worse. Let's never back down. Let's just go in. Let's double down on it. Let's double down, and they already have by shooting 2 more people in Portland yesterday. What the heck is going on? And MAGA is still not up in arms about it? I still see people on social media defending this. So, and I saw this yesterday, actually. People were saying, oh, well, she was gay, so she deserved it. Seriously? Look, I don't care what your religious beliefs are. You can't impose them on other people in a pluralistic society. There's no law here that says everybody has to be a Christian or a Muslim or believe the same thing. And by the way, you MAGA Christians, you might want to team up with the Muslims because they believe a lot of the same things you do should be in the law. And if you go to a lot of Muslim countries, those things are in the law. And you think God will bless you if you obey those laws. See how blessed those countries are. A lot of them are not very blessed. And there are places even the people who are from there don't want to be there. So think about that. Forcing people to obey some of God's laws, it's not what God's looking for, and it does not bring blessings to your country, and you're not going to get rich if you can force people to do it, okay? I know you think God's going to shower us with blessings, and then you'll get rich. That's what the bottom line is, literally. People in the end think they will get rich if we can force everybody to obey God's law. These are the Christians who support this. And then God will shower us with blessings, and those blessings will be in part financial, and that will come down and trickle down to everybody, especially these MAGA Christians. So yeah, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen any more than the rapture is going to happen tomorrow. Look how bad this is getting. And this is the United States. I read these headlines. I'm like, what country are we in? Did we all die and end up in the Soviet Union? That's what it feels like. Killer agent unmasked. Okay, so a little good news came out of it. Killer agent unmasked because Pam Bondi or Kash Patel, somebody in the Justice Department, doxed him by saying, oh, this guy, he was a little skittish about this whole car thing because he was run over by a car a few months ago and dragged down the street. So people went online and looked up the story about the agent who was dragged down the street, and they figured out who it was because we have geniuses running the Justice Department. They didn't even know that would happen. They didn't, that's why they used to keep their mouths shut, these people who worked in these jobs, because they knew better. They knew, keep your mouth shut. But these people, they don't know. They can't wait to broadcast everything that they know. J.D. Vance declares absolute immunity. That's a nightmare waiting to happen. What kind of idiots, I'm sorry to say that, but what kind of idiots do we have running this country? What kind of idiot comes out and says all ICE law enforcement people have absolute immunity even if they kill somebody? You think that's going to deter more of these events? Or is it going to let them think, hey, I can get off scot-free? Hey, I can murder somebody and get off scot-free. The vice president, if I do it in an ICE uniform, they say I have absolute immunity. This is really scary dictator stuff. Wake up, MAGA. You got to wake up, you guys. Doctor blocked. We saw the video of that. What kind of country does law enforcement, when they know no other doctor is on the way yet, it tells a real doctor, no, sorry, you can't go over and see the person who's bleeding to death. ICE monitoring phones in entire neighborhoods. Tell me that's not dictatorial. We told you, we said he's going to be a dictator. You're like, oh, you're deranged. Yeah, we're deranged because your derangement made us deranged. All right, so let's look at this company, Weblock, that provides some of this surveillance software real quick. New standards in location intelligence. This is an ad from their website. National security agencies use Weblock for advanced geolocated intelligence with global coverage, simplifying investigative and operational strategies with precision. By analyzing billions of location data points for detailed identity resolution and patterns of life, where you go, who you go with, where you live, where you work, it increases situational awareness by, get this, by automating data correlation with precise user-defined geofencing. All right, so they take a geographical area and they fence it in and they say, get the information for everybody in this area. And here's what's scary. First, it's automated. So it's using AI to take all thousands of different points of data and correlate them. And when I first read this, I thought it said automating data collection. My eyes are a little crossed sometimes. But no, it's data correlation, which is scarier. It correlates the data from all these different points of data and draws a picture of who everyone is, where they go, what they do, who they're with. Scary stuff, right? So, and then in this next sentence, Weblock generates demographic insights. Listen to this, helping expose hidden connections between threat actors and illicit activities. Helping expose hidden connections between threat actors. Now, normally, if we read that and our country was still in a normal place where it was a year ago, we would read that and say, oh, good, threat actors, good. These are people who threaten us. They're the threats. They're the terrorists. They're the people who are going to do bad things. And we say, okay, that's good. But no, this administration views us as the threat actors. We, citizens exercising our constitutional rights, are the threat actors to them because they feel so threatened, because they know they're in a very precarious place. In some way, they sense that they're doing bad stuff and they know people don't like it. And they know, like all authoritarians know, the only way they can hold on to power is by force. That's why they're doubling down and sending more troops into the streets of Minneapolis. They should be going home, but they're sending more. And they're going to Portland, and they killed 2 people in Portland. And who knows what happened since I started recording this. I mean, I will turn the camera off and find out some other horrific thing happened. Be like, I should have talked about that, but I couldn't, you know? So, all right. We're the threats. We're all the threats. If you dissent, you are the threat. Now, this is from the company Pinlink. This is the Pinlink product. This is the overall parent company. This is the company that makes these 2 products that we're talking about. We're talking about Weblock. Here's their little synopsis of this. Live collection made simple, so even an ICE agent can do it. Apparently, you just have to press the on button, which that they can do. Gathering, listen to this, gathering live phone communications and social media data. You hear that? Live data, live phone data. You're in the protest in that square block area, and they can see or hear what you're saying on the phone. Maybe they can't hear your call, maybe, but they can see that you made a call at least, and they can see that you're talking to so and so, and then their little AI will go in and say, well, the person they're talking to, what connection does he have to all of this and to the other people here? And then they have a whole story on everybody. All right. And your social media data, they can see that. Surely by that, they would be able to see what you're saying because it's just text flying through the air. All right. Anyway, they say gathering live phone communications and social media data is challenging due to increasing digital complexity. And we think we're safe. We're like, oh, let's send a WhatsApp message, or let's send it on Signal. Signal's very safe, right? Not anymore. Our platform simplifies this with an integrated solution for lawful interception. Lawful interception, really? Well, Trump will make it lawful. He'll just declare it's lawful. Their product also enables real-time collection and analysis of voice calls, messages, and online interaction. That's scary stuff, folks. That's scary stuff. And all these MAGA people used to say that they were against this. They were libertarians. They were libertarian conservatives. And this is as far away from libertarian as you get. So the bottom line is they didn't have any principles that led them to support Trump. They just knew Trump, I honestly believe this, hated the same people they hated, and he was going to get them. And that's what they wanted. They don't care what he does. He can take all our freedoms away, and they don't care because he's getting the people they hate. This is bad, sick stuff, I got to tell you. Very sick stuff. In authoritarian regimes, dissent is dangerous for the dissenter, and that's us. Public protests are criminalized, and that's what they're doing. Citizens learn to fear speaking out, which I have to say has even touched me doing these YouTube videos. I'm like, am I sure I want to do this so publicly? And I had to do it. I couldn't not do it. Without free speech, without a free press, without those, there literally is no freedom at all. There is no freedom without those things. So think about that, MAGA, next time you hear your man clamping down on the press because you don't like what the press reports. There's no freedom without that press. I disagree with them a lot. I don't like a lot of things they say. But I know we're better off with them than without them, because look around to all the countries that don't have a free press and tell me which one is better off than we are. And the answer is zero. There's not a single exception to that rule. Countries that clamp down on their free press and have stamped it out, like this man in our White House is trying to do, not a single one of them is better off than we are. They're not even close. Not even close. And the people in those countries are dying to get out. And that's what you're pushing for here, and that's what you're supporting. All right. So that's why I'm doing this. And all of you can come up. You can do this too. Everybody can do this, literally. You just need a camera on your phone. That's all you need. But we must do it. If we don't, we're looking at a country that's going to end up in a really terrible place. All right. That's it. I think we all know that. And that's about all I had to say. So if you got anything out of it or appreciated it, I would appreciate a like or a subscribe. That'd be cool. I'd love to have you on board. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.